Welcome back, everybody. Again, I am always humbled and honored to our old listeners or new listeners, no matter where you find us. I wore my little Christmas, my Christmas dress today. It's a dress. If you attended our Christmas give back, I want to thank you so much. I had a red Christmas dress. I try to get in the holidays around, in the spirit. And thank you. I want to thank everyone. It was 2 hours of amazing shifting and aligning and why it's important to believe and getting ready for the end of the year. So I can't thank everyone enough for your generous contributions. We have been able to help a lot of families in very creative ways. So it's huge. And this is our lead up. A lot of people didn't realize as we give throughout the year with the foundation now approved, a lot of this in 2022 is moving over to the foundation. So I hope you'll continue to follow us and see what we're up to. And it is the holiday season. And so I do want to share some news with all of you today. So I have been with Transformation Talk Radio for 4 years, and it's been a lovely, beautiful experience. And as we look back over the years, sometimes we just need to take that break and shift and change. And so my last show is going to be on January 25th, 2022. And so I hope you'll enjoy me for this time, but come to the website, tracylclark.com. We have the Telegram group. You can figure out what's always going on there. It's on the bottom of the website. And if you really want to spend time with me, like kind of 7 days a week live in person, that's our Miraculous Academy where I'm giving you videos, but I'm on there. They have a private Telegram where I'm telling you what's happening and moving. And as you know, it doesn't mean you end things on a high note, but it doesn't mean something else isn't ready to be birthed. And I think when we look back at this year, a lot has transpired, and we're all getting ready to rebirth new things. And this is a time where we need to look and say, what do we need to change? What do we need to move? How do we need to get more into alignment? And, when we look at the energy that has moved through and a lot of truths that have come out, a lot more that are coming out now in mainstream media and things that, I've said it, we're in a spiritual war, and it's hard to be in a spiritual war because it's very underlining and the energy is very underlining. And sometimes you don't know, like, where's that discernment? What's true? What's not true? So I know we were going to have Shivani on today, but she's going to join us next week. So you get to submit your questions into Transformation Talk Radio, and I'm going to shift them for you this week and answer them and align you. Like I said, we scan that year and we look back and we're like, look at all the changes. Be really grateful for the changes you've made, the things that you have really stepped into, whether it was a new relationship or letting go of an old one or changing a job or a career. And it's important. And it's important that you really get centered and balanced and see through this muddy water. And one of the big things that's going to change for next year is really starting to watch your words. And I did an Instagram video on this and a little bit on YouTube, and I don't know, I put them wherever they need to go, but really paying attention to your words. And when I was teaching Body Regen, which I teach, and you can still enjoy the course online if you want to and learn at your own pace, is understanding how we get into words and what they do to your energetic body. And it's kind of like I was talking to my evolutionary mastermind group last night. We were talking about the reptilian brain. Who do you think named it the reptilian brain? Why do you think it's fight or flight? Like, you got to really understand the energy. And when the reptilian brain goes off into fear, what is programming it is media, is, people around you, this negative kind of energy gets in there. And that part of the brain needs a new word because it's how, like, the ethers get into your body and all of a sudden your nerve system goes up, because that part of the brain is meant for real issues. Like, I'm sorry. So I equated to when I was a little kid and got kidnapped, and, it was like, that's where that fight or flight brain's supposed to come in, not from everybody imprinting and moving information that is not really necessary for you or isn't always true. So that has to change. The other thing that we're noticing is going to have to change a lot. It's like I said, with your words. And so how we term things, move things, look at things. So one of the examples I used on my Instagram was, if you said, I have high blood pressure, so feel that energy, just feel what that is. How many times have you said this? I have no money. I have no choice. Just feel what that feels like for a minute. I have no choice. I have no money. I have no one in my life. Feel how heavy that is. Okay. I want you to practice this because it's really cool. So if you say, I have a spirit of high blood pressure right now. I know it sounds crazy, but just tune in for a minute. Or I have a spirit of lack going on right now. Can you feel the lightness of that? So when we say we have a spirit of something in the body, what happens is it becomes the energy around it. So everything is energy. So what we're going through right now, everyone's like, I have no choice. I have no options. And that is anchoring it into the body where you're not having choices or you're not having options and you can't see them. So your system becomes very blinded. So it's almost like your blinders come over your eyes. You have no ability, right? I have no ability. I have no ability. And it takes a little bit, you know, you're going to fumble. We all do. We still do. It's how our world is. But when you say, okay, thank you, God, there's a spirit of lack going on right now. Even if you said I have a spirit of lack, but feel it's even lighter, right? I have a spirit of lack going on, not I have lack. So I have a spirit of lack. So now this energy starts to sort of formulate. It gets lighter. Now you can see, okay, that's an energetic frequency going on. It's a spirit. It's an energy. So you can move that energy out, and you can move the energy out from changing your perception, commanding things into the body, moving things differently. You know, it can be challenging, but when you do it, it becomes very eye-opening, you know? So when you say there's a spirit of overflow coming into my life, there's a spirit of overflow in my life. That energy starts to accumulate and it starts to roll more and more and more. And it draws more of that to you. So, you know, when you're like, I don't want to draw more of that to me. So watch really what you're saying. So you've heard me say in 2022, as we get into the end of this year, you can see there's this explosive energy that's happening. And I always say to people, when this explosive energy is happening, you want to kind of lay low. So I will say to all my listeners, please don't be traveling too far. Be very aware of your surroundings between the end of middle December. So I'd say almost right now into, you know, the end of January, because a lot of the information that's coming out, and there's, you know, when you've had something your way for a long time and now it's being taken away, people get very angry, irritated. They're like, I want to go back to normal. Well, normal was filled with trickster energy. Normal was filled with manipulation energy. Normal was filled with energy pretending that you were free, but you weren't free. If you were free, you could just go around on the planet, and the earth doesn't have boundaries. Earth wants you to go wherever you want to go. And so these energies that are now being brought to the forefront are told they can no longer do to humanity what they're doing. So these are all those institutions that are going to have to change. They're not going to change overnight. So I don't know, all these people that say they're going to change overnight. I've been in this space for like 20 years almost, going on 19, so almost 20 years. And trust me, it can't just happen overnight. People have to understand what is going on, what is unfolding, why it's unfolding, and they have to really get it. So for all of humanity to shift, everybody, for the most part, has to start to understand we have to rebuild. And to rebuild is going to be some pain. So this is why I love about, if you're with us on the Telegram group or you're with us on the Miraculous Academy space, because what we can do is I stay with you. I'm literally on there like 7 days a week. And people always say to me, Tracy, you're kind of like you work all the time. It's not work. It's in the spirit. It's playing. It's seeing the information and giving it to you in real time. And what I also love is all the people that are coming together, and you say, I need this. And then people on there are like, I got you, which is really, really, really important. So it is this new space. The endings are going to be like never before as we move into the new beginning. So you will see a lot of truth come out now in mainstream media. I know where I live. So we have what's called the CBC, which is like the BBC if you're in Europe. And I'm not sure what the equivalent would be in the US, but basically it's 100%, maybe PBS. No, I don't think it's PBS. I'm not sure. So maybe my American friends can tell me. Anyways, it's 100% funded by government TV station, radio station. So both. And they don't do anything or speak anything against what the government tells them what to do, and that's how the programming is done. And that's how they get their money. And in the last week, they've been speaking out against them. So, something's going on, We got to look for the clues, look for the signs. And it's like your own life, right? When your life becomes out of alignment in something, which we all know it's been out of alignment the last few years, big time. It was out of alignment before, but it's really out of alignment. So as humanity, we shift, and the energy is shifting. That's why I always like to start off things where you say, like, that Christ consciousness, it's not about religion, guys, at all. You got to get that out of your head. That messed too many people up. That's going away. Even the holidays, like, people are, I'm like, all of the holidays have been geared towards institution and these religious programmings. If you notice, they're going to be changing, and we should be celebrating them in joy and love, not based on, things that are no longer working for you. You take what works for you and get the rest. I'm not saying you got to discern what's good for you and move out. But when things are out of alignment, then we know. And right now, the last 2 years, we've been really out of alignment, but coming back into alignment. So it's showing, the last few years have been a blessing, showing how out of alignment we've been, how much we've given our power away to authoritative dictator figures versus, standing as humanity, standing as one, standing together, strong, saying, enough's enough. And that's where we're coming back into alignment. And it's still going to take a few years to get there, but we're really going to start to see basically the lid blow off. And we've been starting to see it. And, like I always say, then I think the final part of that really getting to the truth is it's coming. You can feel it. That's why I'm like this explosive energy. So my goal is always to make sure that you guys are taken care of and that you guys are okay. And you can ask questions, what's happening. So that's what I love about what we do each and every day. And it's really about understanding, what is going on with this trickster energy, what is going on in this space, and making choices, or you can make choices and shift the energy around that. And that's why I'm so big on you understanding what's going on in your body. Why do you think the body has been so attacked over the last couple of years? And it's been so attacked because the energy frequencies are raising, and they were trying to get them really dumbed down so the control and the manipulation could keep happening. If you understand that on an energetic level. And that's why we've gone through a lot of what we've gone through, because basically as humanity, we were waking up and we're moving further and further away from their control systems. So there's a lot to still unfold, a lot. And I just want to thank that part of the hand of God of you understanding. So things that you can say right now, I always say, like, I invoke that Christ consciousness light and that God of my understanding within me and through me, and ask that to move to everybody in the world. I invoke that Christ conscious light within me and through me, and the God of my understanding to push that out into the world. And you say that, and it's like, and miracles flow to me each and every day, and I receive them, and I'm open to receive them. I receive them at all levels and all layers of my being, and looking at what those miracles are. Like, I went to the pet store. So many of you know I have 2 cats and a dog, and they decided they were going to have a little bit of messy moments, meaning, let's pee by the door or poo by the door and, assert who's what. And it was kind of like, so I went to get this cleaner that I like. And the guy's like, oh my gosh, like, it's $4 off a bottle. And I grabbed the last 2 bottles, and he's like, this stuff's never on sale. And I'm like, well, and I was saying, miracles come to me each and every day, but someone's like, oh, that's small. You got to be grateful to receive and bring in every miracle, no matter how. You do not say that's small, that's big. And you don't know how you touch somebody, how that changes their life. Like when I look at our Christmas give back, and the amount of families, like I was sharing this story at the Give Back where we had a family that like they canceled Christmas. They had a baby, they canceled Christmas. They said humanity has lost their way. They couldn't even put food on the table. They nothing. And they were working. And we just quietly walked in, and here you are. Thank you very much. And it totally changed their lives because they got Christmas back. They were able to buy some food and celebrate, but it put them on a different path that somebody cares. And I think in our world right now, the enemy spirit wants you to be so divided. And it's time that each and every day, 365 days a year, notice what somebody else needs. Notice how you can make that difference. Sometimes it's a word. Sometimes it's a little, it's $20. Sometimes it's you paid a bill for somebody. And I know a lot of people are going through loss right now. And this is a time of year where I want to give you guys a little bit of a boost and just tune into your central nervous system to strengthen the boost, to be able to see what others require, so that can come back to you tenfold. So you won't be affected by the chaos out there because you're vibrating in a different level. And no longer, as you're vibrating now, can you come down. And I was sharing this in my evolutionary mastermind, my miraculous group, that our vibrations have changed now. So you're not going to be able to come down and meet the people that don't want to move up. They're going to have to come up on their own. So don't feel guilt. Don't feel like you've left anyone behind. You must stand very strong, because the universal energies need all of us in our alignment. So everything's being called to come back into alignment like never before. So it's really cool. One of the things I do want to mention, because I'm so excited, is we did our book launch on December 2nd for our Give Back. So if you haven't got my new 31 Days of Prayer, it's a beautiful book. It's a great gift, but it teaches you also how to command the energy, how to, when you say, and there's affirmations like this one is, I'm willing. Oh, hang on. My light is really bad here, guys. I willingly release the past now to welcome the future with wide open arms. And, there's prayers to reclaim your sovereignty and your birthright, to let go of the past and light the new way forward. But they're prayers for self-empowerment, awakening my gifts. But they're done in a way to allow you to understand how to communicate with spirit. And so when I say thank you, God, it's a God of your understanding. And so whatever that is, for me, it's a beautiful high vibration of love that brings us together as a collective for creation energy. And it has to be what is for you. And so it teaches you how to say the words. And if you start using them more like that in your daily life, you'll be able to attract more things. So we have the first one, and then my book, God, Where Are You? It's Me. And so these were all in the last year to help you out and move you through. So they're on Amazon, they're on my website. And, I think this is the year where when I'm looking at the holiday time, it's, what do people really need? What do they really require? And then if you can start doing that now and take it into 365 days a year, which is how our foundation is going to work. It's 365 days a year. That's where we're moving to. You've got to dream big. I like to dream bigger. I go home kind of thing. So remember your words, really watch things you wouldn't even notice that are commonplace. They really need to go away. They need to go away. What are creative solutions? So you can say, I need a creative solution for this. What's a creative solution? Thank you, God. Like, show me a creative solution. Thank you, God. So you can say, thank you, universe or divine. But the reason I repeat that is because a lot of times even people say, well, I know that. They're not using it in their everyday life. They're not using it. And I'm seeing more and more people, even in this realm, that are, they're not using it in their daily life. And we're at a point where we have to use our tools, use our connection each and every day, because your telepathic abilities want to come through, your connection and how you heal through your hands and your voice and what you do if you're working in this space. It's going to change and it's going to shift and it's going to become more evolved. And, I know for me, I've been having lots of interactions on the other side very differently than ever before. And they're interactions. They're not just your dreams. A lot of you may be having your loved ones in your dreams because they're coming back. They're coming back to help you, to say, I'm here. I'm with you all the time. So just remember that as we go into the end of the year. Okay. So I want to answer some of your questions here for you. I am so grateful again that you guys show up. So again, I hope you'll join me for this last month, and then come and find me on Telegram or YouTube or wherever you like to find me. I just say Telegram. I'm there live all the time. So that's my favorite. And we're going to develop something new. It's just time for some change. So it's really good. It's really good. Okay. So let's ask. And so what we do when I read the question out, I want you to tune in. And if your question has some similarity to what I'm reading, then you align into that. But what you do, if you're like, I don't know if that would really apply to me, on some level it is because you're listening, but you can also hold the intention of what you would like the shift for and just say, I'm just open to receive the shift that I require right now. Thank you, that I require. So as we go through, you'll be really, really surprised. Sometimes you can get triggered and say, I'm out of here. That's not the time to run away. Don't run away when you get triggered. That's the time that you're being tested to go to the new level. Okay. There's a difference. There's a very big difference between time to leave and being triggered. Very big difference. I always like to teach that. Okay. Louise from the Foothills. Okay. Hello, Tracy. Love the Christmas give back. Oh, yeah. Isn't it wonderful? Okay. I'm experiencing issues with my left eye. I feel it has to do with seeing my vision of the future. I'm excited and scared at the same time and would love a boost to feel more confidence. Yeah, to see more clearly. Oh, I love you too. You're so sweet. Okay. Literally, you guys make my day each and every day, and that's why I love showing up for you. So let's hold on to the eyes. Now, the eyes for everybody, I can feel that there's a pressure behind the left brow chakra that I'm going to start to lift off, and we're going to command the muscles and the ligaments really to start to pull back. So there's a, if you can see me on the camera, you actually hold the eye a little bit, and then what you do is you pull the energy back to the optic nerve. So let's just see what's going on. And there is a fuzziness because there are things from the universe we're not actually allowed to see right now, which is unraveling. So that can also make you fuzzy, and it also can make you a little unsettled. And I know for me, so I can look at what's going on, for example, in every area of different finances that are changing. Now, timing sucks, but we can see what's coming. We can see what's moving. We can see, and spirit gives us lots of information. But when I look in the stock market, because the stock market is all run by nefarious groups. So we all know, I'm giving you an example of seeing. So BlackRock and Vanguard, they own everything. We all know that. So, well, most people know that they own everything on there. So total manipulation, right? And I'm like, but spirit won't show me what they're going to do to change that for the better of humanity, because every system has to change for better of humanity. And every time I go in and look, my eyes go fuzzy. I'm like, I want to know, show me what's coming here. We can see what's going on with gold, silver, crypto, we can see what's going on in banks and, all this. They show us bits and pieces and you piece it together, right? It's a lot of intuitives have been talking about that. I've been talking about that for well over now. We're going to 6 years in my community, but, and preparing, but I'm telling you, it's like, it goes fuzzy. I'm like, well, why am I not allowed to see that? And so obviously these are areas that we are supposed to walk through. And so sometimes that happens. So there's things. So what we do is we want to remove where you have to see everything with your natural eyes. And I want to start to remove that accumulation of energy. And thank you, God. So just tune in. You can actually rubber tap your heart. And I want to override it and speak into see with the heart. So it's a little bit different. It moves the energy to see with the heart energy, which now let me explain. So no matter what you see with your natural eye, the heart will start to override it. So the heart energy will bring more peace. It's like, okay, I can't really see that. It's a little bit fuzzy, but I don't need to know what's coming over there. I don't need to see it with my natural eye. I can feel it. So it's like when we're doing this transition, I can't see it in my outside world. Like I'm seeing a lot of destruction in people's lives because I get the emails every day. I get a lot of people that are having a lot of sickness right now. Like I see it every day from a lot of people in my own family. And so I see that, but I don't physically see tons of the truth coming out in the mainstream, but I see it in the underground world and I feel it. I feel it in the heart. So I can see it in my heart and I can see in the spirit realm. They show me very clearly the battle's over. Like the swords have been put down. Whereas before it was like, clash, clash, clash between dark and light. So there's always in the spirit realm, there's usually some sort of battle even within our own life before it drops to the natural world. So this has a lot to do with seeing, a lot, because we think we need to see. So you got to trust. You're like, okay, it's done there. How long is it going to take for us to see it in the natural world with our physical eyes? So what we do is we strengthen the right and the left eye to being strong, to seeing with the heart, holding, and to have clear vision. So there's also some things around the peripheral. So things that are happening just outside your vision that it looks like we have to make some adjustments. And there's some energy there that although you can't see it with the natural eye, we can get excited about it. We can get thrilled about it. We can get, just in this beautiful flow about what's coming. And we can trust that a little bit more. So there's a little bit of inflammation also behind the eye. So we can just pull that out. And inflammation in the eye comes from the central nervous system in that reptilian brain. And we all know if you're well, I don't think anyone here really watches mainstream media. I scan it just to see what the little buggers are up to, but I don't, I know you can see it's been fake. I've been saying that forever. I've been saying lots of things since I was a little kid, and everyone's like, "You're crazy." Like, I remember being 7 saying all this stuff, and people thought I was a nut job, but whatever. I like being a little nut job because it makes life a lot better. Maybe, and everybody's coming over. Well, we're not nut jobs. We actually see what's going on, and people can't get into that alignment. So I make fun of it all the time. I used to get sad about it, but not anymore. Okay, so that should start to feel better, and we'll pull it to the optic nerve. So I can feel coming to the optic nerve. It can feel a little bit like you're getting, you could feel like you're getting pressure or a headache. So that'll start to move. All right, Debbie, I appreciate you. Oh, I appreciate you too. When you talked about inflammation, is that part of what is going on with my lower abdomen area? Yes. So the inflammation in a lot of bodies, they are extra inflamed over the last couple of years. They've been inflamed for a long time. Most people go and say, oh, it's just like food. And food can be part of it for sure. But what I've been noticing a lot as we're getting to the end of the year is because we are scanning and we're not able to take in the energies that are out of alignment. So things that are still feeling out of alignment can make the body inflamed. So that would be things that would be irritating or frustrating. Doesn't mean that we are irritated or frustrated all the time. Doesn't mean that at all. But there's an energy in that place. It gets inflamed that's holding. So it gets inflamed because it's holding on to a pattern that it's afraid to let go of. So if you want to just tap the areas, and then that creates, blockages in the lymphatic system and the immune system. And what I've also noticed right now that's creating inflammation on an energetic level is any form of, like medical toxins we've taken in. So I mean, recreational or pharmaceutical drugs, they kind of leave imprints, and they leave like blocked energy in the body if the body hasn't been able to detox and flush it out properly, which a lot of people don't know. And so they compound on each other. And then it looks like, they look like little beads in the body, but they also attract a negative emotion, and they can create inflammation. So I'll start to dissolve and liquefy those toxins for you guys to remove inflammation and bloating. And it isn't just food, but we do eat too much food and not always the right food. So, but it shouldn't matter. You shouldn't have a judgment. Like, really, your body's brilliant enough that once the frequency is high enough, you can take all the nutrients and purge out the rest, even if you eat a French fry. I know it sounds funny, but we got to move to that new space. But body does like good food. All right, so let's remove that irritation. So if you're holding on to irritation forever, and it looks like a lot of the energy that wants to clear out of the abdomen is basically behind the heart. So there's stuff behind the heart here. The heart chakra looks a little bit close. So we'll just open that energy up to allow the flow from top to bottom. And we'll command the tailbones to roll under just a little bit more, so the grounding cord can expand and the energy can drop out of the body. That looks a lot better, actually. All right, from Allison. Okay, hello, Tracy. I'm a friend at Alyssa. Oh, hello. She introduced me to your work and suggested I talk to you to get some insight on why I have been feeling the way I have for a long time. I have been struggling lately with feeling overwhelmed with work and family life. Yes, definitely have taken on too much energy. It's not yours. So we'll do a soul fragment retrieval. I have many questions like, why do I feel like I'm garbage at everything? Yeah, work, as a mother. Why do I prioritize family? Why do I care to worry what my boss says? This all comes back to actually, okay, so first I'm going to remove. So if you don't feel appreciated, you don't know what's happening, this is where we're in overwhelm. You give, but you're giving because it looks like you're giving to be appreciated and seen. And you look about 3, there's soul fragments that you've taken from everybody else, which has also plugged up your system. And we're going to actually return the soul fragments. So the pieces of other people that are within you that are replaying this over and over, we're going to move that away. There seems to be part of, and we'll bring yours back. This is really quick. So just everybody will want your soul fragments back. Trust me. Thank you, God. And it looks like this pattern that's looping. So it's a looping that, if I give, I get. If I give, I'm seen. And then you do that critical energy, because you look like there's a lot of critical energy you picked up from observation when you were really low, like little. And I think I did the Instagram video yesterday on it very quickly, but critical energy will then make us be critical of ourselves. And then we'll say, oh, I'm a failure. I'm no good at that. and that energy loops, and then we keep attracting more of it. And then we like, my whole life just feels like a bag of poo. It's not going in the direction. So a lot of the people that you've been giving to, it's not coming back. So remember, guys, giving and receiving. So a lot of times I say, if you're giving to the wrong places, people and things, you got a headache, you might get a headache. I'm going to release this as I talk. So, if you're giving, it's like giving into the desert. You're not going to get something back. So it looks like the areas you have been giving into, they need to be adjusted, and they need to be, why are you showing up that way? Because it's showing a more unhealthy pattern versus a healthy pattern. So we'll start to adjust this. So as we move this energy, it's like, where do I truthfully want to give into that person? So if a relationship, what happens with all of our relationships, we get comfortable in how we communicate, how we are, and then we grow. And those patterns come from when we're quite small. So you're trying to break those patterns off. And it looks like you have somebody, and it might be a school thing, or maybe it was even your family, but you have these benchmarks that were set. It's similar to if you're in school and everybody's getting 95s and you're getting 70s. And it's like, I never reached that. I'm no good. I'm unworthy. There's a benchmark that you put for yourself. And I have to start to pull that down, which is making you feel like everything is not moving the direction. So then you'll go over and you'll over deliver and you'll over show up and you'll overdo all of these things. And then there's a frustration in the body. Then the body will get really tired. The body will want to check out. The body's like, this is not the life I want to create. So it came out of alignment, but you've been moving in and out of alignment like this, and moving over and over and over and over as you've gotten older to be out of alignment. So I'll start to adjust this for you and we'll reset. Not uncommon, but if we strengthen the system, and you got to start to say, okay, so truthfully, did I do my best? Did I know how? Yeah, that's good. Awesome. Because that approval, I have to remove where there's constant approval. And there's a lot of male figures that you have in your life in this lifetime and other lifetimes. You can see them where if you don't get their approval, you're no good. You're not worthy. You can't move on. So there's an underlining current you have about needing approval constantly. And that's why you end up in those situations. So we'll start to cut the cords. Now, when you cut it, now you got to understand, okay, I need to show up differently. And so when you show up differently, things will start to shift, but that also means relationships of different levels and layers will come to an end, and that's okay. So I'm not saying jump into everything tomorrow, but start to look, show up and say, am I being true to me? Do I truthfully want to do this for them? And those are the things you'll be like, yeah, I do. No, I don't. And that's where then you won't need their approval anymore. You'll be like, okay. And you'll start to have memories of all these different people where you felt like you needed their approval to be worthy, to be good. And you don't. You're just a beautiful being that can be you. And that energy is starting to come out. That energy is starting to shift. So we'll recalibrate that for you. Ellen, yeah. Good morning, Tracy. I feel like I need a shift in my attitude, feeling low, isolated, and recently adopted 2 kitties. Oh, we love the kitties. Okay. Yeah. Perception, guys. It's really, really important to shift your perception right now and that's what I say about coming regularly and showing up. If you're in the community, because we can shift that. We can help you right on the spot. If you're just out there in the world right now, like, holy man, like you can go down the street and know where I am, and people got their heads in the sand still. Like, why do you think we're taking so long? These countries, and unfortunately in North America, it needs a kick in the butt. We're going to get it big time. So if you're looking at that, it's like, well, then impatience. So it looks like we have to adjust patience. And I talk a lot about this every day, because we need patience, because we're not seeing it on our time. But guys, we've been in a spiritual war. Like, we've been 2 years, like some wars are 6, 7, 10 years, like they go on. Right. So it's like, I need some patience. And that's where we need to adjust and reverse perceptions. A little bit of patience. Things are moving, things are shifting, more to come. We need to be with each other. And then obviously animals are amazing. So a cat's purr is the same healing frequency as healing your body, like same frequency. So why do you think when you're sick, kitties will come and sit with you, or you're not feeling well, they'll come and sit with you, or you're feeling sad, your animals will come with you to raise your vibration. So thank them for what they're doing. Yay. I love it. All right, Henrietta. Okay. Hi, Tracy. Hello. Can I please ask for an alignment for both of my sons, oldest and youngest, as the jobs are on the line in January? Yep, they refused this. Good for them. Can you see them staying or moving? Now, here's something that's happening. So yeah, we'll adjust them. This is what I see happening for a lot of people, because I know a lot of people have already moved out of their jobs and they're like, no, like a stand. And this is legit. Like, if 50% of the workforce walked off and realized what was going on, they're going to learn a lot of truth between now and the end of January. A lot. Like people, I always say it's the Home Alone face. You've heard me like, oh, what's happening? So what I do, and have seen this with many people, and it's been very consistent. So I'll align them, is that although some people may move off now in many places in the world, except in Canada, because I'm telling you guys, we are like the most brainwashed country in the world. And I live here, so I see it. I'm like, wow. And for us that are awake, it's great. But so you look in the States, how the mandates are being dropped. You look in other places where they're trying to push it more, but the more people say no, and you can see. So what I'm saying is you can see between the end of December. So between December and January, there's so much shifting that I keep seeing people being asked to come back. I keep seeing people like where they're asked, and every time I test it and move it, they'll be asked to come back, but under a different situation. So we can't go back to the old. And a lot of people that are leaving these institutions, which I love, like we have teachers in our community that are organizing now new schools, what enlightened, aware. That's where our foundation wants to go help kids, right? And help learn and teach differently. And so those systems, so a lot of people are also being removed to create something new. So we're going to set up both, but they keep saying it's going to happen very quickly, very swiftly. It's kind of like in and out. So they'll need the people. So you can see that they're trying a little bit more, but you can see a lot of people coming together. So I will align them and shift them. And there's going to be, even if it's going to be very short lived and then it comes back. You can see I hate the timing thing. I hate it, but I'm with you guys on that. I shouldn't say that. I always get disappointed because of timing and universal timing, but they keep saying everyone's going to be okay. And you can see there's going to be a lot more opportunity that will unfold for reasons that as people leave the planet and shift, these are going to open up different opportunities. So I'm going to open that. Oh, Vas, I'm so grateful for you. God bless. Oh, I'm grateful for you too. What a beautiful question. Oh, I love you. It means a lot. Those little things mean a lot. I see I missed my break. I was having so much fun with you guys. No break today. Okay. Grizel. Hi, Tracy. Just received your book. I absolutely love it. I've been feeling extremely low. Yeah. When I think of my finances and my frustration, and I don't see anything changing, the anger and everything moving. This is, you know what? This has been going on for so long. And for some of you, I know it's like this nightmare, this loop. It's like Groundhog Day. Is it going to happen? Is it going to shift? And depending where you are in the world, there's different karmic things. And I know it doesn't make you feel good. And you know what, guys? It's okay. It's okay to get into the universe and just go, and just like scream and yell and say enough is enough and get out of here. And so we'll move that and we'll shift. There's breakthroughs, and there are breakthroughs. And like I said, you can see as the world gets this next, we need this next wake up and to shift our perception into all the new areas of where we're going and what we're doing. So I'm just going to clean you up. If this is okay, it's like putting you through a car wash, and I'm going to put you and your husband through a car wash, and we're going to go through it, and we're going to start to move this. Part of what's happening here is, you're both very enlightened and very aware, and you're really supposed to be, well, you can do what you want, but spirit always, when I look at you guys, it's like they need to be doing something also on their own, and like getting out into the world and using your gifts. And I know that can be a little scary, and we look at what we have immediately, but they can run tandem, right? Like you can start your business. And then this is where, as we can help you guys thrive, like while you're still doing the other things. And a lot of the world's going to shift in that way into 2022. And they just said to me, all that you've lost will be returned. Ooh, I get chills. All that you've lost will be returned. I know that. And you've heard me say, I remember having my last $1,000 in the bank as a single mom. It was a holiday time too. It was this time. And it was returned. All that I lost was returned. And I just heard that with you. All that you've lost is returned. So let's bring that energy through, and I'm going to clean you guys up a little bit. Okay. All right. Judy, where do we have it? Oh, here we go. Oh, Sadat. Yeah. Thank you, Tracy, from being the light every day. Yeah. My question, is there a change for me in the positive? Yes, there is. And that's what I was just cleaning. You can see, I know it's dark. I remember even too, on my journey, I was doing this for 5 years before, and I saw little changes. And every year I'd be like, that year wasn't better. but I was missing the little things that were. And then on year 5, I got to the end of the year and I heard, oh, wow, that year was way better. And everything started to roll and everything started to change. So I keep hearing that saying, and I know it's frustrating. I don't know who came up with it, but just keep repeating it. I'm on a brink of a miracle. I'm taking my miracle. I'm on a brink of a miracle. I'm taking my miracle. I'm on a brink of a miracle. And when you want to scream and yell, just go in and tap the heart. I'm on the brink of a miracle. I'm on a brink of a miracle. I'm receiving my miracle. I'm receiving it, because this is what we have to understand that also. And I know it's hard when we're going through it, because I've been right there where you are with kids. So I get it. And the energy is moving and it is shifting, and it's going to shift to the better and be long-term. But there's this space where we used to shift, and then we would shift either within our country or one country. And you have to remember, the whole world is shifting at once, which means we're throwing everybody into a blender and everybody into chaos at once to make sure that this kind of chaos never hits humanity again. So depending where we live in the countries also depend what we have to go through. So I know, like, you can see different levels. So there's a purge within where you live, which is also affecting where you are. So we'll strengthen that as well. Okay. Judy, oh, I'm new here and enjoying you very much. Oh, welcome, welcome. I battled my whole life with self-destruction thoughts that never let me find my life purpose. Feeling like I need an alignment, not sure where I have to get approval. Yeah, you guys are okay. So I know I haven't been on Facebook, guys. I took a break because they were always, sending you notes that, apparently teaching people how to be empowered with their body is not Facebook approved. Crazy, huh? Yeah. Be empowered, be your own person, be your own guru, learn how to shift your energy. Okay. Anyways, we were getting weird stuff. So that's why I'm off. So come to the Telegram so we can help you. Again, I know I repeat it, but come there, come there. I don't send out a lot of newsletters. I don't spam you. So basically, this is a very similar energy to what I was talking about before. And your need for approval comes from past life energy, but it also comes from in utero. It looks like a pattern you have picked up. You're strong. It's funny. It's in your feminine line, but there is some energy from your mom, but it comes around the women in your line always need outside approval before they do something. So it looks like, the way they show it is always kind of looking up. Like, when you want approval, you look at somebody, can I say that? Can I do that? So that's actually created a trauma line in the body. And that kind of trauma line, which we can pull out, thank you, God, it runs through the central nervous system. When you have that sort of trauma line that goes from past life and ancestral and then carried through to this lifetime with your own family, you will actually start to notice. So look at where we need we're told we need approval for so many things right now, which we know is not true. So where this will block, that will make you sick down the road. So we'll start to move this out. So well done for asking. Thank you, God. I'll start to move this out of the central nervous system and out of the subconscious. Now, when we have that kind of trauma line, it will make us afraid to take risks. It'll make us afraid to do something that we feel will be disapproved by someone else, a person, an authoritative figure. So that can be anywhere from mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, friends, teachers, anybody you deem to be an authoritative figure. Okay. Grandparents. So I'm going to start to remove this and we're going to collapse the time frames. So this is a looping pattern. This is something that goes over and over. So your body is so used to it, it's sending out the vibration, and it's sending out the vibration from your solar plexus and from the mental thought. So I'm going to shift some of this energy. We're going to start to collapse it. And what you need to do, I'm going to burp probably because this is like a big one. There we go. So what we need to do, what are something you can do in your daily life? Because I like to always give you guys little tools. So when the thought comes in, you reset, let go, but thank you, God, I'm reversing the perception. I am strong. So your fields are strong. I don't need their approval. What will happen when you say that? You'll be like, why do I need their approval? What is it in me? What is it in me? And you're going to start to notice, because this was actually legit trauma. It shows in your field at the same level as like PTSD, someone coming back from war, which means you have carried this through lifetime, but it's been carried through your ancestral pattern over and over and over. So we'll remove that. And this is actually good for anyone. If anyone thinks they need approval, I'm telling you guys, this is going to start to disconnect for you as well. So you can be strong. Thank you, God. So I want to thank the power of the hand of God to strengthen your field, to speaking your truth, to walking in your path, to letting people, places, and go and things go that are no longer needed or required, that are holding you back. So you have about 6 or 7 of these energies that are holding you down. They look like, I'm going to start to clip them, but I have to go gentle. They look like weights, like 10-pound weights, as you would tie them to your waist and they'd be thrown into the water. So they suck you down. So every time you go forward, something comes in that's like, oh, no, no, no. And then it just pulls your energy down so you can see it. So I will start to disconnect that very, 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 very gently. Thank you, God. And this is really important to look at as we get to the end of the year. It's very, very, very important. Trust me. Thank you, God. Okay. We have, okay, Melissa. Hi, Tracy. Can you see what's going on with me in the past few days? I've had vertigo, anxiety, stomach issues, migraines. Oh, you have a lot. So 1, you have an energetic shift that's going on. 2, you have a release. And 3, your chemical electrical frequencies are very imbalanced. So your electrolytes are also showing imbalance. There's also parasitical energy that wants to leave your field. So parasitical, I can feel it in the brain, like, oh, I'll start to delete this. So the parasitical energy, people, places, and things, if you've been creating and making changes, is also created the little crystals in the brain. So you can see this crystallization energy, which is formed from thoughts from you and other people. So let's move that out. And that's how those little crystals activate in the brain, right? So there is some inflammation that we can start to remove out. There's a bacteria that shows, it's showing high bacteria levels. Something got in your body here that's also setting this off on a physical bacteria. So that's where I would say, make sure when you have that, guys, and if it's a high level of bacteria, a few things you can do. 1, fast. I know that's crazy, but go on to a fast. If you need a little bit of the caffeine, then have a little bit of caffeine. You don't have to do a full water fast or dry fast, but have a little bit of your caffeine, but fast for a good 24 hours to 48 if you can, but a good 24 looks like all you need. I'm going to remove the bacteria. Hang on a second. Then we have to watch it to reset the left and right hemisphere and the chemical electrical frequency pattern here. And this is, so it's coming up to a great, it's showing like, okay, how can I say this? So, great fears of letting go of what no longer serves you. Now, great fears, that's how they're saying it, of letting go of what no longer serves you doesn't mean it's like a big, like, trauma. Great fears can also be tied to things that happened 10, 20 years ago, meaning in the subconscious, there's a lot of energy that wants to let go. And there's a part of you, and I feel like I'm getting a headache, a migraine as I'm in here. So I feel for you. We want to ease that off. And so I'm going to ask the subconscious to let it go and that it's okay. I'm also going to command the chemical electrical frequency patterns of the brain to reset. Thank you, God. And let's command the blood vessels to return to normal. So a lot of times, if you put your hand on your head and you command the blood vessels to return to normal, you're starting to speak to the body to let a lot of that energy go. So we'll start to move that as well. So big transformation, big change, and there's resistance in the body for receiving the big transformation and change. So we'll increase the strength of the body, the soul, the spirit, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, psychological, psychic. Well, all of those combinations together will increase it for you to be strong to receiving what you need to receive. Okay. And for you to walk through it and take the transformation. So I'd be like, I'm ready for the transformation. And, some people ask me, Trace, is it bad if I took a Tylenol or something? It's not once in a while. Like, don't beat yourself up, guys. Like, it's okay, because you're looking at the energy in your mind. They're like, oh, she said that. And it's like, if you're doing it all the time, sure. But if you're doing it, once in a blue moon, it's okay. But also increase the hydration right now, guys. So you got to keep your hydration high, because there's so much emotional energy leaving and purging out of the body. So I love it. I know we're almost at the top of the hour here. We got to every question. This is why I have you submit, because it's easier for me. I want to be able to help more of you. And that's why we're changing things up in the new year. It's, and that's why I went to Telegram, so I can help more of you and be more present with you on a regular basis. So again, though, so I hope you'll check out my books on Amazon. There are, like I said, there's 3. I'm really proud of myself. Like I said, I never thought I'd write one, and we've got 3, and I want to do a 3rd prayer book. And there's a power in 3. There's a power in what's happening. And I hope you'll really understand how much is changing and how much is unfolding. And if you like to learn about the body and you want to know how you can start to command your energy and connect and be supported by legit one of the most loving communities, if you show up, they'll show up for you. And you know, that's where we are in our evolutionary mastermind or miraculous academy. Like, we have our call tonight, and once a month we do our call in Miraculous Academy, and we do soul seats. So you come and you interact live with me, and then you help other people. So we pick different people every month, and we have a lot of fun, and you learn. And this is what it's about, and teaching you to be empowered and holding you. And, you know, I don't get off track hardly at all, very rarely. And if I do, it's very quick, you know, a day here or there, and I get myself back on track. And these things don't bother me anymore. And people say, why don't they bother you? I said, well, I've been on this road for a long time. And for me to stay nice and steady and strong, so I can keep helping all of us, because we're in this together, in the sense of not the way they say it, but I mean, like arm in arm, we're equals, we're moving through as equals. And when you can really grasp that energy, and then it's just, I just hold the line a little bit stronger so you can see a new perspective, because I know what it's like. The reason I've created these communities the way I have, I know what it's like. I did my journey alone. I didn't have anyone to go to on a regular basis. And I said, never again. I want a community. And that's what we've done with the creating of the foundation that just got approved. It's what you're going to see next year, but it's how we show up and interact. And, you know, I've had people that they've left the community because they're very upset that I've been speaking the whole truth of what's really happening, and they don't want to hear it because they're not ready. And I get it 100%. But guys, I'm not doing you any service if I'm just giving you the fluff. So one of the things we do in our community is, you're not just going to get the fluff. You're going to get the truth of what is going on in the world, what is happening every day, how can we move through it? And sometimes it sucks and it's hard. And it's just like, you know, we were saying with Siddharth, who's been going through this challenge and moving and learning and growing. And you can see very clearly, he's going to look back and go, oh my God, I got it. Oh my gosh, he's becoming a totally different human. And it sucks going through it. And it's angry, and you get frustrated, and you think, what is wrong with me? And what is going on? We're there to remind you, to pick you up and say, nothing. We are caught in a global shift, and all of us have different roles, but we can still be there to support you and uplift you and hold you in that space, and, you know, go through it. Because we cannot let go of each other right now. We have to come to more compassion, more alignment, more understanding. Division is of the enemy spirit, and we're allowed to agree and disagree. We're allowed to get triggered, but remember, your triggers mean you're on the verge of some big breakthroughs. And that's so important. And that's why I do my work every day, just like you. I just purged out my whole house. Like, I legit just, everything went, you know, like most things left. I moved, I cleaned, even my whole office, like everything has gotten changed and purged. And it feels amazing to bring new energies. And I want to encourage you to do that. And, you know, don't stay silent. You don't have to keep your voice silent. If you're there, and, you know, we have somebody who recently had just said in our evolutionary mastermind, she's like, I don't speak up. And I'm like, but this is your safe place. This is your safe space. So she's starting more and more and more. And a lot of times we miss our dreams and visions because we don't know how to speak up. We don't know how to ask. And remember, if you're in a space where I'm like a little mama bear, I will come after the energies that are trying to derail you. Let me do that. I will come arm in arm with you. And so will the communities, to break those, you know, whether they're curses or belief systems or patterns. But also, I don't want them to affect your body, because I really realize the importance of being healthy and strong. If you know my journey, I did many times check out. That's why I wrote the first book. So you could see, people say, well, there's some simple. It's simple. It's not heady. And it's not, oh, this is what you need to do. It shows you a journey to understand that we don't give up. But our bodies are here, and they've been neglected for so long. And you don't have to show up with arthritis and cancers. And this is part of the programming of society that needs to go, that is based on that reptilian brain and the fear. So I teach you guys that because I want you to be very empowered. I want you to be very strong, and I want you to be very healthy. And if you can do that, I'll keep showing up. You keep showing up, I'll keep showing up. So join me on the Telegram, guys. Come and join me at the academies. Like I said, real time, real information, no crap, no fluff. We'll just move and shift. So I always have to be a little bit more careful here, because obviously we have censorship, but I don't have to be over there. So do I get mad sometimes? Absolutely. Am I having issues right now with what's going on with the children? Yes, because I see it in my inbox. But you know what? We're going to come through this together. But no division. It's through love. That's how it is. No authoritative mandates. No, that's not together. Only love. All right. I love you. I hope you'll check out my books again on Amazon. See you next week with Shivani, All Around Crystals. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Tracy L. Clark Show with me, Tracy L., where I teach you how to connect to the God consciousness so you can unlock your superpowers and connect at light speed and live your extraordinary life. Tune in every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where together we will unlock the secrets of your body and your life. As the founder of the Body Regeneration Academy, I, Tracy L., will provide you with the insight and simple tools you can apply right now in your life to move you forward and leave the past in the dust. To join the Body Regeneration TLC Online Academy, make sure you check me out at tracylclark.com.